How's it going? Welcome to Change is Good. My name is Brian. In this video, we're going to go with another $500 box of half dollars. That's 50 rolls in total. We'll be looking for silver proofs, NIFCs, or coins not intended for circulation, foreign coins, mint errors, and varieties, such as double dies and repunch mint marks. We'll also be looking for anything to fill slots in these albums over here. The last box with this stamp was a dandy. Let's hope this one can at least match it. Nothing unusual. We'll see how it goes. Let's get started. We're on the first roll and we have a double die. Let's check it out. For comparison, here's a regular 1971D. Look at the lettering, look at the numbers and the date on both sides of the coin, and compare this to this example here. You can see how much thicker the lettering is here in the motto and the date. And if you look at the word trust, you'll see extra thickness in the lettering with deep notches here at the bottom of both legs of the R and the top of the U on both sides. This example is a bit worn, so it's hard to see all those details. The letter T in Liberty will also have extra width with wide and split serifs on both sides. There is also normally a deep split here at the bottom corner of the middle bar in the letter E in Liberty, but this example is a bit worn, so it's hard to see that detail. This is DDO number 9 on Variety Vista, and in my opinion is one of the most impressive double dies in the Kennedy half dollar series. On examples with sharper details, the doubling on this variety is wild. Alright, let's get back to the box. Roll number 2. And we're already onto some silver. $1968D, 40% silver. Not bad. We're off to a good start. Let's hope it keeps going. We're now on roll number 6 and we have another double die. Let's take a peek. Again, for comparison, here's a regular 1971D. Look at the lettering, look at the numbers and the date on both sides of the coin, and compare this to this example here. You can see slight extra thickness here in the motto and the date, and the top left serif of the letter I slopes upward toward the left. And if you look at the word trust, you'll see slight extra thickness in the lettering with light splitting at the bottom of both legs of the R and the top of the U on both sides. The letter T in Liberty is also just a bit thicker than normal with widened split serifs on both sides. And if you look at the E in Liberty, you'll see a split here at the bottom corner of the middle bar. This is DDO number 14 on Variety Vista and is very similar to DD number 7. But DD number 7 has a mint mark that's a bit lower and closer to the neckline. Alright, back to the box. Roll number 9. And we've got another shiny edge here. This time it's a 67. That makes two 40% silvers. Roll number 14, and we've got two double dies. Let's check them out. Under the scope is a 1974D. You can see extreme thickness here in the motto and the date with splitting here on the left side of the 1 all the way down, and splitting here on the outside curl of the 9 through here, and the inside curl right through here. Over here in the word trust, you can see heavy doubling of lettering, especially on the R, the U, the S, and the last T. You can also see a big notch here on the back side of the 4 and the date. This is DDO number 1 on Variety Vista, or the FS 101 in the Cherry Picker's Guide, a fairly common yet highly sought after variety. Up next, we have yet another 1971D. You can see extra thickness here in the date and the motto, and the shape of the I in the word N is normal without any split serifs. Over here in the word trust, you'll see extra thickness in the lettering with defined splits at the bottom of both legs of the R and the top of the U on both sides. On the letter U, the splitting will go straight up and down rather than at an angle. And if you look at the letter T in Liberty, you'll see extra width in the lettering with widened split serifs on both sides. Lastly, if you look at the letter E in Liberty, you'll see a split here at the bottom corner of the middle bar. I'm showing you a close-up shot of the word trust so you can see the splitting. Notice how the splitting on the letter U goes straight up and down instead of at an angle. This is DDO number 4 on Variety Vista, or the FS 101 in the Cherry Picker's Guide. Many roll hunters will confuse other varieties for this one because they're not checking the angles of the splitting or the shape of the letter I over here on the word N. This one has a regular shaped I. Alright, back to the box. Roll number 22. We have a low mintage NIFC, or a coin not intended for circulation. It's a 2003D. Not exactly in the best condition, but we'll take it. Alright, back to the box. We're now at the halfway point of the box. Roll number 25. And things are starting to get interesting here. Check that out. A double feature. $67. And $68D. Now that is a good roll. We're now on roll number 36, and so far we've had one roll with 2 double dies, one roll with 2 silvers, and now we have another roll with 2 double dies. You seeing a trend here? Let's go to the scope. Under the scope are the reverses of 2 different 1972 Philadelphias. The top example is a regular die. The bottom example is DDR number 1 on Variety Vista. You can see the bottom example is thicker lettering than the top example, and if you look at the bottom serifs of the S's on the bottom example, they're wider, rounded, and have splits compared to being narrow and sharp on the top example. Next up, we have a 1976D Bicentennial. If you look at the top left serif of the 1, you can see it's wider and more square than normal. You can also find notching at the top right corners of the 7s, and here at the top right serif of the 6. And if you look at the other half of the date, you can see extra width here at the top left serif of the 1, splitting here at the top right corner of the 7, and here at the top right serif of the 6. This is DDO number 1 on Variety Vista. All right, back to the box. Roll number 38, we have another double die. Only one this time, though. Let's check it out. Here we have the reverses of 2 different 1972 Ds. The top example is a regular die. The bottom example is DDR number 1 on Variety Vista. You can see the bottom example does have some machine doubling on the right side, but it also has thicker lettering and widened, rounded serifs at the bottoms of the S's compared to the ones on the top being narrow and sharp. And if you're not sure you have this variety, you can get up close, look for notching at the bottom right corners of the lettering, and the word America. All right, back to the box. Roll number 41. We're going to mix it up with another NIFC. This time we have a 2010P. Not in too bad a shape. All right, back to it. Next roll, roll number 42. And we're back on the silver. Another 68D. All right, let's get back to it. Well, that roll didn't have 2 silvers or 2 double dies, but it had 1 silver and 1 double die, and it's a scarce one. Let's check it out. Under the scope is a 1971P. You can see slight extra thickness here in the motto and the date. And if you look at the word trust, you can see slight extra thickness in the lettering with light splitting at the bottom of both legs of the R and the top of the U on both sides. This is WDDO number 2 on Wexler's DoubleDot.com. It's a scarce variety and fills a slot in the album. It also completes the 1971P double die set. Here's a close-up shot of some of the splitting of the lettering. It's a pretty tough one to spot. All right, back to the box. We're on roll number 46, and believe it or not, we have our 9th double die of the box. It's scoping time. Here we have the reverses of 2 different 1971 Philadelphias. The top example, as you guessed, is the regular die. The bottom example is DDR number 1 on Variety Vista. As you can see, the bottom example has thicker lettering, and if you look at the bottom serifs of the S's, they're wide, rounded, and have splits, compared to the ones on top being narrow and sharp. And if you get up close, you can see notching at the bottom right corners of the lettering and the word States and America. All right, back to the box. Well, we've got an empty box. What? That 50th roll had a 10th double die in it? Seriously? All right, let's go back to the scope. Under the scope is a 1972D. You can see extra thickness here in the date and the motto, with splitting here at the top and bottom serifs of the letter G. And if you look at the word trust, you can see extra thickness in the lettering with splitting here at the bottom of the first T, the bottom of both legs of the R, and the top of the U on both sides. This is DDO number 1 on Variety Vista, or WDDO number 1 on Wexler's DoubleDot.com, where it's considered a best of variety. This example has been filed down a lot, so it's hard to see all the details, but you can see the split here at the top of the G and the bottom right here as well. And because of all the die polishing, you can just barely make out the splitting here at the bottom legs of the R and the first T. All right, let's do a recap of the hunt. Folks, that was a great box. We had 17 finds in total, with 5 of them being 40% silvers. We also had a record-breaking 10 double dies. We had 7 DDOs and 3 DDRs. That is unbelievable. And of course, we also had 2 lonely NIFCs. This box would have been decent without a scope because of the silver, but as you can see, sometimes having a scope can make a massive difference. How often do you find 10 double dies in a box? I believe I have found 10 varieties in a box once or twice in the past, but one of them was always an RPM. This time it was all double dies. To me, that's better. And speaking of double dies, we've got some unfinished business. Insert drum roll here. One more for the book. We've now hunted 52 boxes and have 136 out of 297 slots filled. We're getting there. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and it made you actually want to go into a bank, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you have any feedback or questions about any of these finds, just leave me a comment and I'll get back with you. Thanks again, and remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes you have to get up really close to hear it. I'll see y'all next time.